She entered the meeting room wearing an impeccable tailored suit, heels at the perfect height, hair styled perfectly, and then did something that ruined her entire image in 5 seconds. She remained seated while a director entered the room. At that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the Harvard diploma hanging on her office wall, nor the Italian handbag on her arm. With a single gesture, or rather with the absence of one, she revealed more about her education than any resume ever could. The scene I just described happened in one of the most prestigious corporate environments in New York. The woman in question had just been promoted, wore an extremely expensive Swiss watch, but failed the most basic test of refinement. And you know what is most interesting? The director who entered the room was known to value etiquette more than academic credentials. That day, she lost much more than she realized. We are in the 21st century, and some people think etiquette is outdated. However, dear, the truth? It is exactly the opposite. In an era where everyone is more concerned with displaying superficialities on social media than cultivating real substance, a woman who knows the rules of modern etiquette is like a rare pearl amid a box of cheap costume jewelry. She does not need to announce her presence. Her conduct already does that for her. And do not misunderstand me. Etiquette has nothing to do with being artificial or suppressing your personality. On the contrary, it is about demonstrating genuine consideration for others. It is about knowing the rules to know when and how to break them with grace. It is about understanding that your freedom ends where the comfort of others begins. If you want to learn to be that woman, the one who does not need to shout to be heard, the one who does not need to show everything to be noticed, the one who enters any environment and gains respect without saying a word, subscribe to the High Class Manual channel and activate the bell. Do not forget to leave your like, so YouTube understands that you value content about education and refinement. Because believe me, in a world where everyone competes for attention, the truly elegant woman is the one who knows when to remain quiet. 1. The Art of Standing Up. Janet Leigh, the star of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, once declared that her mother taught her something she carried throughout her life. Always stand up when someone enters the room. This simple gesture, so forgotten today, communicates volumes about who you are. Recently, I witnessed an embarrassing scene during a business lunch. A young executive remained glued to her cell phone and seated when the CEO of the company entered the room. Everyone stood up, except her. The silence was awkward. That moment revealed more about her than all the charts in her presentation afterward. The most fascinating thing? She wore a pure silk skirt, shoes from a globally recognized Italian brand, but her behavior completely betrayed her. Later, I discovered she had been raised in a financially successful family, but without the refinement that transforms money into class. And that, dear, is something that not even a black credit card can buy. You see, standing up to greet someone is not submission. It is a subtle demonstration of respect and acknowledgement. It is saying without words, "You matter enough for me to interrupt what I am doing." This simple gesture is a powerful form of nonverbal communication that transcends cultures. In European high society, this gesture is so fundamental that children learn from an early age to stand up when an adult enters the environment. In etiquette schools in Geneva, this is one of the first behaviors taught. Why? Because it demonstrates awareness of others, something increasingly rare in times of digital narcissism. It is interesting how such a simple gesture can completely transform the perception others have of you. I have a friend who is not particularly beautiful nor wears expensive clothes, but she always stands up gracefully to greet people. And this makes everyone perceive her as an extraordinarily elegant woman. There are exceptions, of course. If you are physically unable, whether due to a temporary or permanent condition, a welcoming smile and a warm greeting are equally effective. True etiquette is adaptable, never rigid. What matters is the intention behind the gesture. 2. The power of removing earphones. Earphones have become practically an extension of our bodies. But know that the way you handle them says a lot about your consideration for others. Last week, I tried to talk to an acquaintance at the cafe. She removed only one side of her earphones and continued with the other, while trying to maintain a conversation with me. The result? A superficial and distracted interaction that made me feel less important than whatever podcast was playing in her ear. The ironic part? She made a point of mentioning that her earphones cost the equivalent of a minimum wage. But what good is the expensive accessory when the behavior shows disregard? She did not realize she was sending a clear message. You do not deserve my complete attention. This lack of social awareness is what separates money from class. A woman may have the most basic earphones on the market, but if she removes them completely to talk to you, she demonstrates a level of education that no designer brand can buy. Modern etiquette asks that we completely remove our earphones when someone initiates a conversation with us. I am not talking about strangers trying to make small talk on the subway. In those cases, earphones even serve as protection. I am talking about people from our social circle, colleagues, or acquaintances. This simple gesture conveys a clear message. You have my complete attention. In a world where attention has become one of the scarcest resources, offering yours is a true gift and an indisputable sign of class. I witnessed something interesting at a New York restaurant recently. A young woman was waiting for her table, absorbed in her audiobook. When an elderly lady asked her the time, she immediately removed both earphones, responded with a genuine smile, and only put the earphones back after the interaction was completely finished. This small act of consideration did not go unnoticed. I saw other people noticing and silently approving. True elegance is in these subtle details. It is not about how expensive your device is, but about how you balance technology and humanity around you. 3. The volume of voice in shared spaces. Coco Chanel once said, "A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life." I say, a woman who adjusts the volume of her voice according to the environment is demonstrating refined social intelligence. A few weeks ago, during a medical appointment, I was waiting in the waiting room when a lady entered talking on the phone as if she were in a football stadium. All eyes turned to her, not in admiration, but in contained irritation. She shared details about her divorce, her finances, and even travel plans that not even her own family needed to know. The most ironic thing? The designer handbag on her arm and expensive jewelry could not disguise the lack of refinement that her voice volume betrayed. When she finally ended the call, she noticed the awkward silence in the room. She tried to compensate by adjusting her perfectly styled hair and ostentatiously displaying her luxury watch. But the damage was already done. No accessory could recover the impression caused. The truth is that truly powerful people rarely need to raise their voice. Think of the Queen of Denmark. She speaks so softly that her interlocutors instinctively lean in to hear her better. This is a known trick among women of real power. Speak more softly, not louder, to command attention. Modern etiquette teaches us to be conscious of our sound space. In shared environments such as waiting rooms, restaurants, or elevators, the volume of our voice should be modulated. It is not about repressing yourself, but about demonstrating consideration. I met a French executive who masters this art perfectly. Even in heated meetings, she never raises her tone, maintains a calm cadence, and fascinatingly, is always the most heard person in the room. When I asked her secret, she said something revealing. Whoever shouts has already lost control, and whoever loses control loses respect. A truly elegant woman understands that respect for the space of others, including auditory space, is a demonstration of self-control and emotional intelligence. She knows she can be heard without needing to be the loudest in the room, and more. She understands that her message gains weight when delivered with moderation, not with showiness. Observe the truly influential women in any environment. They are not the ones who speak the loudest, but those who, when they speak, make everyone naturally fall silent to listen. 4. The use of shared spaces. Imagine the scene. Crowded subway, people standing, and that lady with her bag occupying the seat next to her, pretending not to notice the glances. The way we use shared spaces reveals much about our collective consciousness. Do you know what is fascinating about this behavior? It is almost always practiced by people who want to seem important, but end up demonstrating exactly the opposite. True importance never needs to be imposed at the expense of the comfort of others. In a society where individualism frequently overcomes consideration, modern etiquette invites us to rethink how we occupy public spaces. It happens every day. In the Dr. S waiting room, on public transportation, even in coffee shops. A client recently told me about an experience on an international flight. The woman next to her occupied part of her seat, had her elbows invading her space, and still reclined the seat to the maximum without checking if she was causing discomfort. The client had 7 hours of compromised travel because someone did not know or ignored the basic rules of coexistence. The most revealing thing? This invasive passenger was in first class, wore exclusive brand clothing, and made a point of mentioning her connections with celebrities. But her spatial behavior denounced her. It was just new money, without the refinement that accompanies it when there is genuine education. In ancient European courts, personal space was almost sacred. The distance maintained between people was not just a matter of hierarchy, but of mutual respect. A duchess would never accidentally touch someone, never invade the space of others, never allow her belongings to create inconvenience for others. The true high-class woman understands that her presence should not diminish the comfort of others. She keeps her bags on her lap or under her feet in crowded places, does not spread her belongings in shared spaces, and is always attentive to the space she occupies, physically and energetically. I have observed how truly elegant women behave in crowded spaces. They have an impressive spatial awareness. They know exactly where their elbows, bags, and even the volume of their hair are. They occupy precisely the necessary space. No more, no less. This rule transcends simple convenience. It demonstrates empathy and social awareness, increasingly rare qualities and, therefore, increasingly valuable. In a world where so many try to expand at any cost, knowing how to contain oneself is paradoxically a sign of true greatness. 5. Body language in communication. The last rule is perhaps the most subtle and, paradoxically, the most impactful. Your body language during a conversation. No matter how expensive your dress is or how much your last trip to Paris cost, if you do not know how to listen with your entire body, you are missing one of the most important lessons in etiquette. I saw this happen during an elegant dinner at a Michelin-starred restaurant. A young businesswoman, impeccably dressed, was conversing with an older gentleman. While he spoke, she discreetly checked her phone, looked around, adjusted her hair. Her body screamed, "I am bored," while her mouth smiled politely. The disconnection was obvious to everyone, including the man, who, by the way, was an important investor she was trying to impress. The saddest part? She had spent a fortune on communication coaching, but forgot the most fundamental lesson. No well-articulated word overcomes a body that demonstrates disinterest. Her dress was from a renowned designer, but her posture completely betrayed her. Studies from Stanford University reveal that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal. This means that even when your words say, "I am interested," your body may be screaming, "I cannot wait for this to end." And guess which message is received more strongly? Maintaining eye contact, leaning slightly toward the speaker, nodding. At appropriate moments, these small gestures form a tapestry of respect that envelops any conversation. It is an almost lost art, the ability to be truly present. Once, I observed a European diplomat at a reception. What impressed me was not her outfit, although it was impeccable, but how her posture and attention made each person she spoke with feel like the most important person in the hall. She maintained constant eye contact without being invasive. Her posture was receptive, slightly inclined toward the interlocutor. Her gestures were contained but expressive. And the most notable thing? She never, ever looked over the shoulder of the person to see who else was in the environment. That habit so common among insecure people. Even children feel when an adult is genuinely present or just pretending to pay attention. If a child can perceive this nuance, imagine how sensitive adults are to it. The elegant woman cultivates the art of presence. She understands that in a world of fragmented attention, offering total focus during a conversation has become one of the rarest luxuries and one of the clearest signs of class and refined education. Try this in your next social interaction. Completely turn off your cell phone, not just silence it. Maintain genuine eye contact, position your body facing the person, and observe how the quality of the conversation transforms. This respectful body language is like an invisible signature of class that no credit card can buy. And now, dear, reflect. Which of these rules do you most need to incorporate into your daily life? Or better, which of them do you already practice instinctively? True etiquette is not about rigidity, but about consideration. It is not about obsolete rules, but about timeless respect. Notice that these 5 rules do not require money, only awareness. They do not demand social privilege, only genuine consideration. They do not require an important last name, only true education. That is why true elegance is democratic. It is available to any woman who values refinement above ostentation. I have met millionaire women who miserably fail in the 5 rules I shared today. And I have met women of humble origin who master them perfectly, radiating a class that no fortune can buy. The difference? The former have only money. The latter have something much more valuable: refined social awareness. And the most fascinating thing about etiquette is that it is a silent language. Those who understand recognize it instantly. Those who do not understand feel the difference but cannot name it. It is like a secret code between people who value being more than having, substance more than appearance. If you wish to elevate your presence and refinement, I have a special gift for you. In the first pinned comment, I left a link to the ebook I am affiliated with, Be Elegant When Traveling, Global Etiquette for the Sophisticated Traveler. Perfect for those who wish to maintain class and sophistication even when away from home. This guide will teach you to navigate gracefully through different cultures, avoiding embarrassing gaffes and ensuring that your elegance transcends borders. Have you noticed how some women seem perfectly at ease in any environment, while others always seem out of place regardless of how much they spent on their appearance? The difference lies precisely in the rules we discussed today, and in many others that we will continue to explore on this channel. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Until the next video,